Hi everyone, we're on section 8.1, gross pay, wages, and incentive plans. Looks like I put a little mark right there. There's a few things that we have to talk about here. First of all, gross pay or gross earnings is the total amount of compensation received by an employee before any deductions are made. So your gross pay is the amount of money you make, and that is that bigger number that you never really see because then things are withheld. Employees must be paid either by a wage, a salary, piecework, or a commission. And so we're going to talk about each one of those. The Federal Fair Labor Standard Act prescribes a minimum hourly wage and overtime pay for employees of companies covered by law. Now, there are some companies that are kind of exempt from this depending on, down here at the bottom, many employees are exempt from this law. And when our book was written, the minimum hourly wage was $7.25. I honestly don't know what it is at this point. So employees working for an hourly rate are entitled to time and a half for hours over their regular 40-hour week. And then there are companies that pay more than the time and a half. Like there's times when people work and they get paid double time, like on a holiday or something, they may get paid double time, so they get double the amount per hour. Okay, so time and a half is basically you get paid for your regular 40 hours at your hourly wage, and then for any hours over 40 you get what is called time and a half, or 1.5 times that hourly rate. And if you'll actually just multiply it that way, then that'll keep you from rounding and making mistakes. Double time employees are sometimes paid double their hourly rate for working on Sunday or holidays. I know that both my sons work for a wage, and they get paid double time if they work on a holiday. So they sometimes go ahead and do that just for that reason. Okay, swing shift. This is when employees work a shift from 4 to midnight, so an evening shift is what we would normally call that. A graveyard shift is overnight, and salary is when you earn a certain amount of money per month, per every 2 weeks for the year, and they just split it up according to your pay period. So I am paid by a salary, and then it's split into 12 parts, and I get that much each month. This is how to calculate gross pay with an hourly wage, and we kind of talked about that. So multiply the first 40 hours by the regular hourly rate, multiply the overtime hours by the overtime rate, and add the results of step 1 and step 2. So let's look at an example. You are paid at a rate of $9.75 per hour. Calculate your gross pay for the week if you worked 48.75 hours and you received time and a half after the first 40 hours. Okay, so we have 40 regular hours, right? And then we have 48.75 total hours. If we subtract 40, then we have 8.75 overtime hours. Then, excuse me, the pay for the regular hours would be 40 times 9.75, and that is a total of $390. And pay for your overtime hours, I like to calculate it this way. If you take 8.75, right, your number of hours, times your hourly rate, times 1.5, then I'm multiplying it by 1.5, right? So that's 1.5 times more than you normally make, or 1.5 times your hourly pay, which gives you half of that hourly pay added to your regular time. So if I took 9.75 and divided it by 2, I'm doing that right now, I get 4.875. So I would have to take 4.875, add it to 975, and then multiply. So you can see that's that's more work than we really need. Or you could just take 9.75 times 1.5. But this way, I can do this all in one calculation, right? My number of hours times my hourly pay times 1.5. And so when I calculate that, it is 127.97. And then my total gross pay will be 390 plus 127.97, which is 517.97. All right, so that's my gross pay before anything's withheld. All right, that's not take-home pay because gross pay is before withholdings. Okay, on this next one, we're going to talk about different kinds of pay and, like pay periods, how often you're paid. So let's look at the pay periods first. Monthly would be 12 times a year. Semi-monthly is twice a month, so that's 24 times per year. Bi-weekly, so that is every other week. So every 2 weeks. And this number comes from taking 365 and dividing it by 14 days. And so if you do that, you will see that you get this weird number, 26.07, when you round it. Right, that's where this comes from. And then this one is from 365 divided by 7, because there's not exactly 52 weeks in a year, or 26 every 2 weeks in a year, however you want to say that. So 365 divided by 7 is the 52.14. Roughly, it's 26 times a year bi-weekly and 52 times weekly. All right, let's look at this question. Suppose you just graduated from college with your accounting degree. So far, you have 5 offers. Company A will pay you $3,350 a month. Company B will pay $1,640 semi-monthly. Company C, $1,500 bi-weekly. Company D, $780 a week. And Company E is $19 per hour. So we are going to calculate each one of those. I think I'm just going to put an equal sign here. And see which company is offering the greatest gross pay. And that's not the only decision when you're deciding on a company. If the pay is not much different, you may choose a company based on benefits, your schedule, and those kind of things over the money. So it's not always just about the money, but we're going to look and see which one offers the highest salary or the highest pay, basically. Okay, so on the first one, Company A, Company A is monthly, so we're going to take 12 times $3,350, and the pay for Company A, I'm going to call that A, will be $40,200. And then Company B is, the pay is $1,640 semi-monthly. So Company B would be times $1,640. And that is $39,360. And then bi-weekly, the pay for bi-weekly in Company C is going to be $1,500, so we're going to multiply this times $1,500. And that one is $39,105. And then weekly, so we'll take the 52.14, and this is Company D. Weekly is $780 per week. And that one is $40,669.20. And then the last one is $19 per hour. And so you would have to just know how to figure this. We are going to figure that this person works 40 hours per week. So $19 per hour times 40. And then we would multiply that by 52.14, right? So for the number of weeks in a year. And then when we calculate that, we get 39,626.40. Okay, so company D, it looks like, offers the best salary, but as you can see, they're all very close, and so you may or may not want to select company D depending on the circumstances. All right, so I'm going to stop the video here, and then I will make a second video to finish up section 8.1.